to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation coach under the sun. Reason why there's no such coaching program like my coaching program, and nobody but nobody spends as much time with and on their clients like I do. True story. All the information for me is below. I coach in audio exchange, in Zoom sessions, if you're into visual interaction just like this. I also coach in phone sessions. All the information is below for all the coaching packages. I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me minimum in order to cover the entirety of my coaching program and for me to feel like I've set you up for success. If you want to schedule an hour session with me before making up your mind after watching several of my videos, you can do so, and can apply that hourly session towards any of the packages that you will choose. So I'm going live impromptu. I don't usually do this. I'm trying something new for my channel. And quite frankly, this is way easier for me to record rather than a video. So I'm thinking about going live when I don't record the audios, because this is going to be fully loaded at the end of me recording this, and it's much easier for me. So today's subject is there is no one-way love. And so really what that means is what you desire desires you back. And this is why in my coaching we cover extensively everything that you went through up until today, or all of your experiences that formed your belief systems, essentially what you're expecting, what do you think about yourself, about money, about love, relationships, etc. All of this is constructing your reality. So if you don't have what you want, simplistically put, is because you're depriving yourself of it, because what you want always wants you back. Okay, it's just the rule of the universe. And so if you're angry, upset at your ex-lover, or if you're have some kind of drama, trauma panorama, as I call it, to work through, you really need to do this. You really need to do this. And I can say for myself, I've worked with, I mean, probably thousands of people by now, during the last 8 years that I've been a coach, 7 years off of YouTube. Okay, now over a year on YouTube. I can say that it's not about bragging on me necessarily. It's bragging on the process that I've developed. Okay, if you really do this correctly, if you process all the drama, trauma, panorama, you really have like no choice but to confront your demons, to confront the garbage in the living room, as I call it, and to really set yourself up for success once and for all. At the very least, okay, at the very least, exiting my coaching, you will definitely understand what are those demons and what it is you need to do, okay, going forward. Hello, love today. Pleasure to see you. I didn't really think that I would see anybody. I'm just literally recording this because I know this will get recorded a lot faster than the video, and I have no patience for technology. Please say hi, Kayla. Hello, Kayla. Um, happy to humor you. Okay, and so once you process all the garbage, though, it really becomes a lot easier. And so whatever your situation is right now, whether you are trying to manifest DSP back, whether you're trying to manifest an apology, whether you're trying to manifest NSP that is brand new, trying to manifest that sum of money, understand that inherently the universe operates like this. It wants that sum of money, it wants you just as much as you want it. Okay. And if you're feeling some kind of way about a person, they feel the same way about you. So let's go into this for just a second. Specifically about people. Okay, now this does not have to be romantic. This could be just about anything. Okay, any person in your life, a coworker, your parents, whatever, somebody else's parents, whoever, and whatever it is that is going on right now. The way that you feel about this person is literally what they are thinking about you too. There's no, like, literally zero mystery as far as that's concerned. So in other words, if you want to change somebody's thinking, change your thinking about them. You literally have the command okay? To say, this person is going to think this way about me now. This person is going to think this way and behave this way about me. Now, it doesn't happen if you still have resistance or resentment. Doesn't happen if you are still harboring some kind of situation with them that is unresolved. You need to resolve it, as hard as that sounds, which is what I do in my coaching a lot. And no, I'm not a therapist, but I definitely have a lot of practice of dealing with processing of emotions. Emotions are really a powerful thing. Energy in motion is emotions, and that energy creates in your life on automatic pilot. Okay, and so you really need to get to know that energy that's dominating right now. It's in your aura, darling. You walk around with that energy all around you. So let's just say, for example, if you think your SP, let's just take the worst case scenario, although who knows what's the worst case scenario, is a womanizer, doesn't love you, is cheating on you, blah, 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 blah. Okay? You want to turn that motherfucker around? Here's the deal. You need to part emotionally with that version. Completely forgive this person, as hard as that may sound. Okay? You need to completely emotionally detach from that version. Okay, two people, okay, two versions, and there are innumerable versions, but let's just, make it simple. One is a real motherfucker, and the other one is a person that you really prefer to interact with, if you still prefer to interact with them. In either case, you need to forgive this person, just for your own sanity and for the clarity of your vibration going forward, right? So this motherfucker done a number on you. Over here, you might want to interact with this person if they are X, Y, and Z. Okay, so one has nothing to do with the other. Let's keep in mind. And as long as you detach from this motherfucker and you go to this one, okay, you will understand what I mean, because it's day and night. But it's your job and your job only to choose this version and not this motherfucker anymore. And parenthesis here, huge parenthesis. And this is what I really wanted to say. This motherfucker version, you created. Not in a blameful way. I'm not saying this like, everybody's you pushed out, this fucking gang on the internet. Blaming and shame. No, no, no. This is not about blame. This is not about shame. This is about literally understanding that this motherfucker version you produced because you were unaware of what you were creating by default. Huge difference. Okay, this is why it's so important to process emotions. This is why it's so important to process the beliefs and change your beliefs, because it's so on automatic pilot, you don't even fucking notice it. And so how could you fucking blame yourself for something that you are not aware of? And so you need to understand that, yes, you did create this version, but how and why? To show yourself something. This is literally what's going on inside my mind. This is literally what I think about myself. This is literally what I think I deserve. Why would I think that about myself? Okay, so it all goes back to you. And so the minute this changes, this assumption, this belief, the emotions around it change, and you start saying to yourself, wow, what a really great message, first of all. Okay, thank you very much, motherfucker SP version, that you let me know that I must not think so highly of myself. Clearly. Otherwise, I wouldn't have manifested this version, right? Or manifesting these kinds of situations like at first everything is hunky-dory, and then all of a sudden things go to shit. Well, you know what? Guess what? It was going to go to shit anyhow. You couldn't have done anything about it. So let me relieve your soul right here, right now. This situation that you've created that went to shit, it was going to go to shit anyway. Why? Because you were not aware of what you were creating. If you're creating on purpose, here's how creation on purpose goes. Again, you need to let go completely of everything that you used to believe in your life that is not working to your favor. I don't care who the fuck told you this, how many times, even if it was your own very mother. Usually it's somebody very close to you. Either it's your parents, your siblings, whoever you grew up with, around, or your ex. Don't underestimate that kind of fucking situation. I know I had to deal with it. Okay, all of that garbage needs to go. And then you really need to establish who it is you really are. Okay, go watch my latest audio from last night. Get to know your own energy. What does your energy consist of? Do you want to believe this bullshit about yourself? Obviously not, because it doesn't produce good results. And it's not even you. It's not even you. You have been playing a role of somebody else so faithfully because you've picked up all the drama, trauma, panorama from other people, and now you're upset that you're creating these mediocre results or the results that don't suit you. Okay, so if you want to start creating things, even yes, changing that very SP that was a complete shit show to you, you can do that. But the answer is staring you in the mirror 24/7. And again, you have to be gentle with yourself. You have to be really loving towards yourself and really forgiving towards yourself, not blame yourself. Oh, I didn't have to lose my temper. Oh, I didn't, I could have done this. No, you couldn't have done anything better. You could not. It was what it was. It was supposed to have happened this way because what you did the best with what you had to deal with in terms of your beliefs, in terms of unprocessed trauma, in terms of so many different things that were circulating in your mind and in your heart. Okay, so you did that. Fine, congratulations. You created something that you didn't want. You looked at it and you decided, holy shit, bananas, I want something else. Wonderful, wonderful news. Nothing in, listen, you have, I know this is going to sound very hard to hear, but nothing in creation is very personal. It's impersonal because the universe doesn't really have an opinion, doesn't really have a preference. You're the one who has a preference. Very well then. But now that you know your preference based on your past beliefs, now that you want your SP to go gaga for you, to apologize to you, and to do whatever, lick the gem of your toes and this, that, and the other, you can do that. Yes, even with that motherfucker version. But the idea is to completely relinquish any and all attachment emotionally to this past version and to completely marry this version over here. Because the truth of the matter is, okay, this perfect version, or quasi-perfect, nobody really is perfect, the more preferred version was always supposed to show up in your reality. But because of your unprocessed drama, trauma, panorama, the shit show showed up. Now it's your job to recreate it if you want to. Okay, if you don't, it's fine. Go create somebody new. But again, the processing is essential because you're just going to encounter the same shit all over again. Okay, let me just pause 1 second to read these things. I was not going to expect anybody here, but anyway, I was just watching a replay of a TikTok I did about everyone is you pushed out. Oh, congratulations. You're so beautiful. Thank you very much. What if your intuition tells you no? Then don't do it. Like I said, it's a pretty free situation here. If you don't want to do something, you're not, nobody's forcing you. But if you do, it's just as easy as changing your mind. You're literally changing your mind when you've processed all that drama. You can change anybody. Why? Because you just sitting down and literally started to think this person. Listen, it goes so far. I don't really want to like freak people out on my channel just yet, okay? But it goes so far as you can literally decide what are the next events in that person's life. I've done it in my life, and I trust that my audience is going to be, handling this benevolently, okay? I mean, I would advise you to, because otherwise it's just going to bounce back to you if you're being not so nice in your creations. It's going to bounce back to you. It's different from, so here's the other thing. Okay, let me not get ahead of myself. You can literally predict what's going to happen in that person's life. So if you want for somebody to realize this was really fucked up what they did to me, you want for them to realize, maybe they didn't even realize how bad this really was for you. You can literally instruct them energetically to realize it. They're now, right now, as I'm thinking this, they're realizing how fucked up this fucking shit was that they did to me. This wasn't just, they cannot stop thinking about me. Not in a force, no, notice how this is not in a forceful way, not in a like, no, this is literally what happens. This is how you create effortlessly and completely on purpose. Real, there's no conversation of like, is it really happening? No, this is what's happening. This person cannot stop thinking about what they did to me. They feel really remorseful. There's a lot of regret there, and they cannot sleep at night thinking about what the fuck they did to me. Now, again, you're not violating any laws, okay? As far as like, you're not being revengeful, you're not wishing them ill. But if you want an equilibrium of justice, or I don't know what you want to call it, some kind of like validation for how you felt, or to get that apology, or, to really understand that you are powerful, and to undo certain things that were not right, that were done by you, absolutely do that. Absolutely do that. I have done this many different ways with many different people, where it's like the worst of human beings that you could possibly imagine. Now, again, the disclosure is, and the caveat is that you have to care. You have to want for them to come to you. And in some cases, I really fucking did. And I was like, no, you are going to come and apologize to me. And it doesn't really matter, like, what happens after that. I really want my fucking apology, because this was fucked up. And they did. And they turned into a completely different person, because that person, by the way, that new version has always been this version. It's such a spooky difference between the two versions, that it's literally you can't help but to understand that this is literally a different version. That's it. That's the only thing that makes sense, and it is that. Hold on, let me just read some things. Ricky Jigs. I'm currently working on discovering who I really am. I'm 37, and I've realized I have been going through life with a mask on. That's a lot of people's story, by the way. Butterfly. I used to create toxic obsessions. Now I want just pure love from special person. Okay, that's valid, obviously, because my exes came back obsessed, and I don't want them to be hurt. Okay, you don't need to hurt anybody. That's the entire conversation we're having here. It's very important to create your soul desires, not ego-driven desires. Yeah, I'm not into ego either. I'm talking about if somebody hurt you and you deserve an apology. Validating your worth is not ego driven. There's a difference, I think. If you just want admiration for the sake of admiration, yeah, I think that's ego driven. But if you want to become a new person and start validating your feelings for what they really are, and not to be a doormat anymore, I think it's valid that you do deserve acknowledgement that somebody mistreated you. And for me, that's just how it is. And that's what I teach in coaching. To people, to a lot of people, it's very hard to even express their pain sometimes, to validate their pain and how they felt. That's how bogged down some people are. And it reflects in their creations. So if it's for you, it's not the case, then congratulations. Danielle White, how do we do this? How do we do what? Why would it matter if it's ego driven? I think ego implies that it's kind of like narcissistic. I don't know. But the idea of self-development is that you primarily understand that you're valid. Your feelings are valid, that you are one of a kind, that you deserve to be heard, that you deserve to be understood, and you certainly deserve to be loved. And so if somebody mistreated you, that's not love. And I think it's a huge part of loving yourself, of doing yourself right. And so, yeah, if you deserve an apology, then you would definitely manifest that. Um, okay, butterfly, because it's toxic, you should be very careful with your affirmations. We're not really talking about anything toxic. I'm thinking that you might be confused about what we're talking about. Okay, Prashushma, my son says we his parents hurt him, so he's now hurting us back in worst way. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what that is about. Okay, let me just continue with my subject, please. If anybody needs coaching, my information is below, okay, in the description section. Unless you have a clear question that I can help with, I'm happy to, but just describing your situation without specifics doesn't really help me. Okay. Um, so zeroing in on one possibility and one possibility only, which is that what you want wants you. There is no one-way love. If you're thinking this person now wants to apologize to you or change their mind or something happened in their life where they literally became a completely different person. Okay, and I'm really talking drastic change. Okay, again, they used to be a womanizer, they used to be all over the place, they used to mistreat you, not validate you, la la la. And now they're coming to you to apologize sincerely, not just to get something out of you, sincerely making it up to you, sincerely doing all the things that you wanted them to do. Now, notice how when you used to be, and I'm going to go on the assumption that this is the scenario just for the sake of experience, when you used to be really obsessed and really kind of desperate for the results, this wasn't happening. And here's the reason why: because you thought that you were not deserving. There's only one reason when you are becoming desperate. It's because you are thinking that you really need to try hard to deserve something good. Okay, that you do not deserve good things just automatically by just showing up in the world and being yourself. And this is what I'm talking about, right? And so this situation can definitely create itself in your life, meaning you can create it, obviously, when you are completely at peace with yourself, when you know who you are, when you are understanding that no chasing needs to happen, no convincing needs to happen. It's just a decision away. And you're deciding this person is now understanding the kind of the grave mistake that they made. And it's not ego based. Again, it's something that you want to create. Now, if you get me started on ego, then everything can become ego based. If you want the money, if you want the house, if you want this and that. So let's not get carried away with labels like such as ego, because at the end of the day we all want a beautiful life. I don't think anybody wants to be poor and with an abusive person. So if it's ego based to have a great life, then I guess we're all egomaniacs here. I don't know, I'm really confused by that comment actually. And so you need to zero in on one possibility and one possibility only. This person now wants to come back and do the right thing by me. This person wants to do this, and the other. And it needs to be so zeroed in and so crystal clear for you that literally leaves no room for interpretation. Like literally, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what's happening. Because I said so, because this is my reality. Okay? And you have to ground yourself in your choices and in your desires and make them normal. This is the new normal. In my reality, right now, this is the new normal. I don't care for how many years you've done X, Y, and Z, and this one treated you this way, and this one treated you that way, and blah, 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 blah. Right now, right here, tonight, I am deciding that the new world, the new normal for me contains every single person, okay, that I give a shit about anyway, treats me like a queen or like a king, that I'm making this money in a year or a month, where is before, I have never seen this money in my life. Okay, this is how you literally quantum leap and change your realities. Because the only person, okay, who's deprived you of these things before was you, unknowingly so. And again, the whole idea of self-development is to become more aware of what it is that is going on up here in your mind. What are you creating constantly? This is of paramount importance. And whenever I change my life personally, okay, on purpose, this is how deliberate you have to be. You're literally choosing the thoughts of that person, every single person that I interact with, okay? Whether that's in business, whether that's in my personal relationships, it doesn't matter. If I care to have a good experience in my life, I have to prepave the experience for myself, okay? I have to choose they're going to treat me this way and no other way. Otherwise, it's left up to a chance, quote unquote, and who the fuck knows what you might get. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty on purpose about my manifestations, and I really want to choose them wisely so that at the end of the day, I'm really happy. The other component of this, okay, is embodiment of that new reality. So if there is no one-way love, and if everything I want wants me, if that person exists in that version right now, so I'm the only one standing in the way of all of this being material in my life. In other words, I am working against myself if I'm not materializing in it, the things that I want. If you're waiting on something right now, if you're waiting on an apology, on your SP coming back, and this, that, and the other, okay, you're literally waiting for yourself. You're waiting for yourself to decide, because a lot of you, let me tell you something, it might not be immediately apparent to you, but in coaching, I see it so clearly because obviously I've done this long enough, but also when I get to talk to people, they're stopping themselves. Okay, you say you want your SP back, but then there is resentment, unforgiveness, tapatupatu, all these things. Energetically, what you're communicating to the universe is no, I don't want this person. Even though your words say a different story, energetically, you're pushing it away. You might say you want to make a certain sum of money. Let's just say, I don't know, $1 million, okay, a year. And then inside you're thinking, but I have to pay all these taxes. What if blah, 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 and somebody might treat me differently now and all this other jazz. Or just say to yourself, I have no fucking clue how this money will come into my possession because I've never made this money before. I have no idea how to even manage this money. Okay, in the parenthesis here, $1 million is not a big fucking deal and is not a lot of money. But I'm just saying, you're pushing it away from you. In the case of SP, very, very prevalent and very common that, you say you want this SP, but you have so much resentment towards this person. You can't you can't even imagine what that new person looks like. You can't even imagine how this new person would behave with you. You're so in your head with the old version, you can't even imagine what the new version looks like, okay? And so, yeah, some people decide, well, you know what, there's too much water under the bridge, so I might just leave it alone. That's also a choice, but the choice is yours, okay? Now, again, if you're hanging on to the idea of this person, okay, and it's not just let me get my revenge and let me get my whatever, let me get them back just so I have the last laugh and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm talking about you really care about this person. I'm talking you really love them, okay? And things went awry, whatever happened, drama, trauma, panorama, but you still have genuine feelings towards them. They have the same feelings towards you. I don't care how much drama happened. I don't care what has been said. Yes, feelings can get hurt. I'm very well aware of that. It's can you on your end get through that, work through that, so that you can create the new possibility of a relationship with them. That's the entire question, because it's all up to you. They will change when you change your mind about them. And again, that's the hard part of it, right? Anything the new that you create that is unprecedented, You're going to have to somehow, some way massage your brain into believing that this is the new normal. This is how things were. And again, not to blame again anybody or anything like that, because I truly don't believe in that. We're all just learning. There's nobody to blame. Okay, we're just taking inventory in my coaching when I talk to you about your mom, your dad, whoever upset you, whoever really traumatized you, etc., which is all very valid. But to take the inventory with the idea of processing all this and letting go of it and understanding yourself better, where it is you're coming from, why did you create all the other things. Plastic foods, what a funny name. Some people see, some people don't see. What have you attracted? Huh? Do you want me to list my life right here? Why don't you get on my channel and you can listen to a few things I have to share. And so creating the new normal is really what your job is in life. Um, and not giving up on the idea that you're barely scratching the surface. What you want right now, you think you want to have them back. You want to have this apology. That is minuscule compared to what you can actually create with this person. Always look at the big picture, right? So now, okay, so now that you're back together, now that you're whatever, they apologized and made it up to you and blah 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 blah. And again, you really have to want them back. You, provided this is something you really want to have happen. Are you living together? Are you married? Do you have children? What kind of house? What kind of lifestyle? Are you traveling? All these things, right? So you have to always look at the big picture. What is going to happen once you have this person? Once you have this person, you are da da da. Once I have this money, I am da da da. Once I reach whatever this goal, this is what's happening in my life, right? So it's the after effect, but embodying that situation, not like, oh, please 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 my SP, please come back and then my life was perfect. No, that's just part. It's an important part, but it's just part of your new normal where you're living out the big picture. Okay, so always keep that in mind. Okay, butterfly is laughing. Mina, what if we don't resent them or have this negativity and trauma with them? Well, then you're off to a good start. Then why aren't you together? Okay. If you're not together, there's a reason why you're not together. And it's usually not a good reason. So, I don't know. Boring ghost. So there you are again. Anna, you are an amazing woman and you are spot on. Thank you. Boring ghost again. One needs to fall in love with this new version of SP on your mind. Correct. Yes. Yes. Yes, you do. You really need to be at the end of it. This is why I'm talking about the big picture. Is like you're already married. You already live together. You already sleep in the same bed. You're already watching whatever, Netflix or whatever the fuck you do together. You're already cooking together. Okay, I know some of you don't love to cook. I love to cook. Whatever else, other activities you, well, other than the obvious, okay? um, whatever you like to do together. You guys are going to be doing stuff together, right? Who drives? Okay, I don't drive, for example. My man drives and all these other things. It's a regular, normal occurrence. It's not like, again, it's not like, oh my God, my SP is by my side. Yeah, and next. Okay, it's kind of like becoming a millionaire, right? Or getting the money that you want, or getting whatever the fuck you are working on right now. It's like, yeah, I got it. And then it has to become normal in your mind, where it's not like so mysterious. Just like influencing people at a distance is normal and you've always done it, you're just doing it on purpose. Okay, all of this is very normal. I'm not teaching you anything like mysterious. It's just something that you need to rediscover about yourself. Okay, Danielle White, I love your personality. I need to be like this. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel, I would say, or get into my coaching. Butterfly, any advice to love yourself unconditionally and not care about what others think of you? Where do I begin? Where do I begin? Oh my goodness. Yeah, making friends with yourself is job one. It's mandatory. And if I was to really be frank, and I think I've talked about this on my channel like a million zillion times over. Listen, if you make friends with yourself, no matter what, with your past, with everything you've done, with everything that has happened, the forgiveness, all of that, especially forgiveness towards yourself, because some of the things, you know what, let's be honest, you know, people do tend to beat themselves up over things that I shoulda, coulda, woulda. No, you couldn't have. Okay, that's it. You're here now. Let's just construct the best reality with what you have to work with. Making friends with yourself is by far the best thing that you can offer yourself in life. And then who gives a shit what anybody thinks? Seriously, who? First of all, you are in charge of your reality and you get to tell people what they're going to think of you, not literally, but mentally. And whoever you care about, what they think about you, don't worry, they're thinking what you're thinking. It's very easy. So I hope that helps. Mina says the reason why is because he says he doesn't want a relationship. Oh, sure, no drama. It's my best friend, but we used to hook up and we don't anymore because he doesn't do relationships. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I bet you anything. This is so easy. I can do this like with my eyes closed. It's coming from you, this relationship phobia situation. I can bet you $1,000,000 right now, Mina, that if you get into my coaching, I will discover the reason for this appearing in your life, and the reason is coming from you. There's something about you where you might be saying to yourself, if I get into a relationship, I may not be appreciated for who I am. And so this person is literally mirroring you and telling you, let's not get into a relationship or something to that effect, but it's coming from you. Okay, let me read stuff here. Ricky Jigs, my wife has turned into a different person. No, you turned her into a different person. She has declined over the years. What do you mean by that? What general advice would you give me to help uplift her? What do you mean by decline? By the way, everybody, if you want to schedule an hour with me, the information is below, okay? And just about underneath every single video on my channel. It's a lot more helpful to do this over the phone in privacy and you describing to me everything that's going on instead of couple of, couple of sentences that could mean anything. Okay, so that's that. Butterfly, circumstances don't matter, girl. Yeah, okay, we know that. Boring ghosts. Anna, why do some suggest living in the end, but you have always said commend them? I prefer your approach of deciding and not getting in your own way. You know what? I'm so tired of hearing other people regurgitate Neville. It almost makes me not like Neville anymore. It's a crime what they've done with his teachings, because they literally destroyed it. It's they don't come up with anything of their own. Now, mind you, I'm inspired by Neville just like a lot of people, but I don't use it to death. So living in the end is great. It's just so overused. I have a much more practical approach, I would say, that works easier. This whole shebang of persist, 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 affirm, 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 live in the end, and it's like so militaristic. You know, I have an easier time explaining to people in my coaching that they have to change themselves. And if they change themselves, a lot of things just change automatically. And it's not so much of an effort then that is applied, because they're just a different person. They're a different person. They are who they are now with those qualities. Or at the very least, they're in the process of acquiring those qualities. They're very well aware of what they want to create in their life. They've identified it and now they're working towards it. And it's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight, especially, like I said, especially if you have a history of not manifesting things that you want, or manifesting something completely opposite. So the approach I take is that if you do a little bit at a time every single day towards your ultimate God state version of yourself, you are doing fantastically. And even though it may not be immediately apparent, you're well ahead of a lot of people who employ these ungodly tactics towards themselves where they're literally forcing themselves. And that never works and it never will work. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Mina says, I never felt unworthy and I did so much self-work for a year and now I have an even stronger self-concept than even before. I feel so worthy and still don't see a change. I've never had this problem. Mina, I have news for you. What you just told me cannot possibly be true because you clearly don't see results that you want. And this is very common with people who come into my coaching and say to me, I have a very strong self-concept. I don't have any problems. And you know what? Just hurry up and tell me how to do magic on my SP. Well, my darling, your reality doesn't lie. Okay, as hard as it may sound to you right now, if you don't have what you want, it means that you haven't done the work. It's very, very simple. Reality doesn't lie. 3D doesn't lie. The end. Okay, so as much as you want to convince me, I'm not the one to be convinced. Okay, all I care about is for you to get what you want. And so again, if you can tell, a lot of people come into my coaching or before even coming into my coaching and they say, you're my 5th coach, my 15th coach, and this and that. And you know what? Yeah, I've already worked on my beliefs. And meanwhile, their life literally does not reflect it. In some cases, not even one department in their life. And here they are trying to convince me that they've done the work. Okay, if you say so. I'm sorry, it's just, you have to be honest with yourself. And I know that's very hard to do because you feel like you've done something, but if you haven't done it correctly, it clearly shows. So I'm just here to tell you the truth. I'm not a liar, and I'm not one of these coaches who are going to put a band-aid on a huge wound and pretend they've done their job. It's just not what I do, okay? I'm going to go back to my subject here and wrap up in just a minute. So the one thing that I really wanted to stress is that if you find yourself in a situation you don't prefer currently, and you think that this is just beyond repair, just, something might happen, might have happened that it's literally, you think that there's no way to come back from this. I'm going to tell you that there is. And again, the conditions are if you really want this person and if you really can get past what has happened in your mind, forgive and let go. Okay, so even the shitty shit that has happened between you two can turn in your favor, especially, okay, if it's particularly bad. Somehow, if you have this belief and you can acquire that belief, that even especially because of these things, I will have a much better result had this not have happened. So in other words, if everything was hunky-dory and we just got together and got along and everything was swimmingly well and blah, 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 that would not have been as good had we not had this falling out And had they not had acted this way towards me and done X, Y, and Z, this very shit show situation now allows me to create something way more magnificent that I would not have been in a position to create before. This is my favorite to turn around. When you have a shit show situation, when you literally see no way out of it, and somehow things just turn around. And I know this for a fact because I've done this in my own life. I've done this in lives of my clients many times over. But the idea is to realize that, first of all, the story never ends unless you yourself decide to end it. Okay, and the reality is that if you still feel some type of way about this person, meaning you still have feelings for this person, they're still on your mind. Some people, let's face it, you don't give a shit about, you part with them, you like goodbye, sayonara, have a nice motherfucking life. They never cross your mind again. If this person is still on your life, on your mind, there's something there. They're thinking about you. If you're thinking about them, they're thinking about you. You don't even have to force yourself. They're thinking about you like 24/7. Oh my God, can you please stop? Like I know about, I can give you example after example about my specific people, especially the last one, current one, where it's like I could not stop thinking about him. And I wasn't really going out of my way thinking about him. Trust me when I tell you, but it was like, I know he's thinking about me because he is literally on my mind every fucking second of the day. Okay. So remember, you are not this abandoned, powerless person in the corner who's been left and mistreated and this and that. You have some work to do. That's the difference. Okay. And the sooner you get to do the work, the sooner you will understand, especially in my coach. Listen, I can only speak for my coaching. I cannot speak for other coaches. Don't ask me to. I don't want to. Quite frankly, I see what a shit show it is out there. And, you know, please. I sympathize with a lot of people who get to coach with these people, okay? I cannot even name a single coach out there that I would be like, oh yeah, they're doing a great job. I can't. And those who would be in that position aren't coaching, okay? Like Bentinho Massaro, like James Lipton and people like that, they're not coaching one-on-one because they're too busy with other things. I honestly started coaching because I was asked to on my channel after I started talking about these things. And truthfully, I do derive a lot of pleasure in changing somebody's life, especially when I see that they're forthcoming and they want to do this. And they're really, their story resonates with me and whatever. There's some kind of a situation that I know exactly how to help them. Okay. Some people just show up to my coaching. Honestly, can I be completely honest? Desperate and deliberate to convince me that I cannot help them. They already made up their mind. I've had that a couple of times. Why waste your time, you know? But people who come humble, who come honest, who are really open to my suggestions always excel. 99.99999%. True story. Excel. If it takes them longer, that's fine, because sometimes, listen, people are different. What one person can do in 2 months, sometimes another person does in 6. Another person does it in a year, 9 months, whatever the fuck it takes you. It's okay. It doesn't make you like slow or less intelligent or whatever. It's just what it is. It's just what you're working with. Your journey is not somebody else's journey. It's just what you are. Right now, what you're working with is this, and it's perfectly fucking okay. All right, but not doing it and being aware of that you're working, but something's not working in your life. I mean, that's a choice. Okay, so where was I? Completely forgot. Turning it all in your favor. Make the lemonade out of the situations at hand and turn it all in your favor. Oy, let's read a little bit. Boring ghosts. Also reclaiming your own power and abilities. Yes, thank you. Mina, I don't know what's left for me to do. other than stick to my decision, but thank you for your response. And I love how you pronounce my name, like how we pronounce in my country. I subscribe. You know what? If you spend an hour with me, I will figure it out within that hour. But it's up to you. Obviously, something's not working. And that's just the end of it. There's nothing else for me to really add. And again, I hate to say this, or rather I don't. I do and I don't. But listen, this bubblegum bullshit out there, this movement of affirmations and self-concept and all of this, why I have such an allergic reaction towards that is because, okay, here's an example, okay? And maybe this will make sense. Do you know how chalk is actually produced in nature? Real chalk, natural chalk. It's like a mountain. It's naturally, it's grows like that, if you will. Okay, it just exists like that. It's a chalk mountain. You can go chip it off. No additives, no nothing. It's pure. Okay, people use it like for hair masks, etc. In real life or in everyday life, you have this kind of bullshit. Do you think this is real chalk? No. It looks like chalk, but it's not chalk. It's all kinds of chemicals. Okay? It's toxic. All right? This is not natural. This is not normal. Okay, so I equate this mass-produced bubblegum bullshit to coaches. Most coaches out there using something that they hear from another person and running with it and cashing it in. Like Neville Goddard, like many other teachers, Joseph Murphy, my goodness, Jack Canfield, all these people, okay, from The Secret, etc., who really have experienced this on their personal level, have overcome this, have their own success stories, built companies, and really, I mean, came from poverty in some cases, etc., etc. This bubblegum bullshit hasn't been through this. This kind of coach who is thinking or saying that they're chalk, they're just a bunch of chemicals, a composite of certain ideas borrowed from somebody else. They're not the real deal, okay? And so the chalk is the real deal because it has no end. The potential is unlimited. Nature is unlimited. So when, like, for example, I did not set out to, again, coach on my channel. I channel for coaching. When I coach people, I sometimes don't remember what the fuck I say to them, have to rewatch my Zoom session, etc. Because I channel in the moment. This is what I'm given to say to them. This you cannot exhaust. You can certainly exhaust how many times you can apply a live in the end or, you know, persist and this and that. You sound like a broken fucking record. Okay, this is what my point is. And when you're really talking to a coach who has unbounded potential, and not to brag, but I just know who I am, I know what I represent, I know the kind of work I do. Okay, it's an entirely different story rather than making or letting a lot of people, and you're not alone, Mina, okay, a lot of people under the sun believe that they have done the work. Meanwhile, they haven't, because it's not deep enough. It's not authentic enough. You haven't dug through their history. You haven't asked them enough questions. You haven't processed their emotions. And how I know that that's true, again, there are lots of people that have come into my coaching telling me exactly the same shit that you're telling me right now. I don't mean any disrespect. It's just the truth. Okay. Boring ghosts. You haven't fully shifted inside. When you do, there is only knowing, not doubting. Yes, that's very true. Boring ghosts, again, cannot live in two states at the same time. 1 second. So many messages coming through now. Over here and everywhere. Cannot live in two states at the same time. The shift comes when you fully process your emotions and learn how to fully let go. Yes, boring ghosts. How is your situation going? You're becoming very smart on me. Daniel White, I just booked a Zoom session with you. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, please email me your availability and I will get back to you when I'm available. And please don't forget to sign the coaching agreement, okay? By hand, please, darling. Looking forward to it as well, very much so. Mina, I agree about self concept and healing being a complete waste of time. I wasted a lot of time on bullshit. I'm trying to get back to the roots when everything was working for me before YouTube got me. Thank you. I thought we'd never get here. Hallelujah, Jesus Christ. I got religious on you guys. Thank you, Mina. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now we're working. Now we're doing. You're not even in my fucking coaching. We're already working. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I feel better. I learned from the best. Yeah, I realize a lot of people learn from me and my channel. But I will say this: if you want it to be permanent, you at some in some capacity you need to be in my coaching. Hold on one second. Let me just check something. Oh, okay. Um, Still waiting patiently for my 3D to fully reflect my inner state. Well, again, I addressed this with you like, I don't know, maybe 4 times now. Boring ghosts, which at some point would help to know your name, but whatever. If you're not in coaching, it could be really challenging to pinpoint why it's not changing. And I will say this, and I already spoke about this like on my channel, like incessantly, especially the last audio that I recorded last night. When you are cleansed of your bullshit, manifestation is easy. So if manifestation isn't coming still, you're not doing something right. The end. Okay, let me look over my notes because I'm about to wrap up here. Right, so turn everything into your favor. Whatever happens can work towards your favor if you start interpreting things differently. Everything can work to your favor. Everything can work to your favor. Everything can work to your favor. Now, if you don't believe that, again, you need to acquire that belief. If you did this, and this is what I'm going to leave you with, and then I'm definitely going to wrap up. The idea is, like last night, I discussed the state of peace, right? If you can get yourself to the state of peace, you're there. Because really, the peace represents the state of knowing, and then who the fuck else is going to decide what you're going to experience next if it isn't you, right? So I'm not talking about weeks or months. I'm talking in the most immediate present, future, right? You need to understand that creation is happening right now. So if right now you're not creating something in the most immediate future, I don't mean to be snobby with manifestation, but let me tell you something. This is what kind of magic I'm talking about. This is the kind of magic I'm teaching people how to do, where it's supposed to be a daily occurrence. Okay. And so if you want your SP back, you need to feel like they're already back. You need to know exactly what they're thinking because you are instructing them to think that. You need to know the minute they're going to pick up the phone and start texting you or apologizing. This is literally what happens. This is literally the kind of power and control you have. And so if you're not experiencing this, something is offline. Something is somewhere else where it's not supposed to be. You can literally decide the day this person is going to finally get off their ass and apologize to you, if you want them to. And so if you're not manifesting that, something is out of alignment. Something is, the piece is misplaced. Some of the pieces, okay? In some cases. And so the radical way to accept your SP back into your reality, number one, decision. Number two, you're already there. It's already here. And so if everything is the way that you want it to be, naturally they're doing exactly what you want them to do right now. Not tomorrow. Like right now, I'm sitting here. I can choose what this person in my mind is going to start thinking. All of a sudden, not all of a sudden, because I instructed you. You reside in my reality. By definition, you're under my control. That's it. You don't have a choice. Okay? If I give you a choice, that's my fucking problem. I need to take that back. But I'm going to give you instructions in my mind. And if I'm not a good manifester, then it could be all over the place. Today, I'm in love with you. Tomorrow, I'm like, ugh, but you did this to me. No, I need to be really like, this is it. This I've decided. I'm no turning back. Okay, this is how you cast magic spell on your SP without any option for them to do anything else. You've decided this is what you're doing, the end. This is what we're doing. This is what you're doing, and this is what we're doing. And that's just it. And the less you obsess about it, the less it's extra something ordinary for you or magical. No, this is not. This is literally how it's supposed to be. What you call magical right now, right? So my channel's name is tongue-in-cheek magic and miracles, because this is actually what's supposed to happen like every single fucking day. Okay, but for most people this is magical. Okay, well, let's fine, magical it is, but the thing is you're supposed to experience this every day, and it's supposed to be normal. Okay, miracles and magic supposed to be normal every single day. Okay, let me just read a couple of things and then I'm wrapping up. Mina, I just stumbled on this on YouTube Shorts. I'm so ready for things to be easy again. Yes. Okay, I'm here when you need me. Boring Ghost, one quick question. How many questions are you going to ask me? If when I think of them, I feel much better, is this proof that they're energetically more aligned with me on their end? You see, you're asking the wrong question. I just spoke for like an hour and you're asking me this. That means you need to watch this live again. Okay. Like I just hear their voice in my head telling me how much they love me and adore me. Okay, it's like this. Do you want to depend on somebody else's mercy in your head, thinking that it's them, or are you going to make decisions? It's, listen, however long it takes you to get behind the wheel, it's your kind of like situation. Me, I'm a bulldog with my manifestations, and this is what I teach people to do. Decide and don't let it be like, oh, do you think that they're thinking? No, I'm thinking this, and therefore they are thinking the same thing. All right. Okay, guys, you know where to find me if you need an hour scheduled before you get into my coaching. But also always happy to have an hour with you in order to answer your questions. Definitely way more productive than doing this. And like I said, I can answer a lot of things, but ultimately, okay, depending on your situation, don't know your situation. You know your situation, but 2 to 3 months minimum. Some people, 2 months is enough, okay, and more than enough in some cases. Sometimes, some people it takes longer than 3 months. I don't know your situation, you know your situation, but ultimately, if you want to make it permanent, like I said, get into my coaching. Thank you very much, everybody. Until next time. Ciao, ciao. Oh, and subscribe, everybody. I don't know when else I might want to go live. At night, I feel like it's better for me to do these things. So subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss my lives anymore. Okay, ciao, cacao. Until next time. Bye-bye.